talking about the characters brings me to Ashlyn, and bringing up Ashlyn brings up the fact that there's as much fantasy as reality in this, where it's literally impossible to distinguish. Unlike, for example, Pan's Labyrinth, where at the end of the movie you could claim that all the fantastical elements were just flights of fancy by the main character. There's no way to say that the fantastical elements in this movie were 100% symbolic.
I think it just added some depth to the movie and a little insight on the protagonist, which is the darkness of Crumb.
Yeah, Crumb
Kruick and Vikings.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, well, back onto the characters. Brendan, I definitely like his development throughout the story. You can clearly see his ambitions. As a boy, he was very conditioned by the abbot to refrain from going outside the wall, which is supposed to protect everyone and which is supposed to keep the darkness and the Vikings out. And of course he goes against that because of his higher ambitions to, write and draw and create.
Well, I think, in the beginning his ambitions are simply to learn. And then it's not until Brother Aiden shows up that he's actually given any real faith that he can draw and write and, participate in making this excellent book.
Yeah, until Brother Aiden showed up, he was just more like a figment of not a figment.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like he was a shadow of himself, being kept down by being kept to realize his true potential from the abbot.
He was like the story among stories.
Yeah.
Until he actually shows up, it's like, wow, he really exists.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Brendan as a figment.
No, Brendan saw Brother Aiden as a figment.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And I was saying that Brendan himself was a figment of himself, like he was, like I said, a shadow of himself, until Brother Aiden showed up and was able to bring him to his true potential.
Oh, well, yeah, that's out there. But
it's not out there, it's what happened.
I see what you're saying.
Anyway.
Okay. But yeah, Brother Aiden pretty much ignited Brendan's path onto completing Brother Aiden's work, which is the Book of Kells.
You want to talk about the religious aspects of this film?
Definitely vague. I mean, religion is there, but they didn't really specify what kind of faith they followed, which I like.
Yeah. It wasn't Bible shoved down your throat.
Yeah. It's like praise God or Jehovah or
yeah, they didn't mention God or anything like that. Yeah. They talked about their own faith and such.
You're seeing that more and more in movies every day now. It's like it's unspecified religion, but there is, because religion is more about faith than about the actual religion. I mean,
well, that depends on who you ask.
Well, that does depend on who you ask, but I mean,
yeah. I liked the way that religion was treated. Like, I'm fairly agnostic, and there are some people who are agnostic or atheists who get pissed off whenever religion is mentioned at all, and I disagree with that. I mean, people make stories and such about the things that they care about and believe in, and yes, religious people are going to put religious things into movies, and I'm fine with that. I don't want it shoved down my throat. I don't want a movie to say you're evil because you're not Christian or something like that. But with something like this,
it's just retarded,
where the faith there was more the character's motivations than anything else, I was 100% okay with that and enjoyed the movie immensely, even though I don't subscribe to any religion.
Some people want guidance, some people want boundaries, and religion can provide that.
Yeah.
In this movie, the characters pretty much, whether they were born into it or not, um, they lived by it, and it was their way of life, and it works for them. It works for some people, so there's nothing wrong with religion in movies.
Yes.
And it provides some great plot device for drama and stories.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just as good as a theme as any other.
Although I will say one thing. The way... I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but at the end of the movie, to be frank, Brendan looked like Jesus.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit of breaking my suspension of disbelief. If you know what like... I won't say that it's bad, but it definitely brought me out of the movie to a degree. Because, we're watching the movie, and Brendan's growing up, and all of a sudden he looks like Jesus, and I'm not sure if that's exactly supposed to be an analogy or what, but it was, I would say, a bit distracting.
Yeah, he does resemble a little bit like Jesus.
Yeah.
But Brendan's hair is red, and it was not as long as Jesus' hair.
But it was getting there.
Yeah, sure. But it remembers that it resembles the images of paintings of Jesus.
And I don't know, maybe it's just reading too much into it. Maybe not.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be what the writers and directors envisioned, but everyone that I guess spoke to or about has said that he looks like Jesus.
Brother Aiden almost was like that. Like if they didn't design him as old as he was, if he was as old or just a little bit older than at the end of the movie of how Brendan looked, he might have looked a similar way.
I don't see that, but maybe we're just seeing Jesus everywhere now.
Maybe.
I had a piece of toast this morning, and I think I saw Jesus there. Anyway, I'm sorry if that offended anyone. But
I don't care.
The music was incredible. The music was absolutely... Let's listen to it. Oh no, this is someone talking. Let's go back a bit. Here's some example of the music.
Some compositions and musical scoring.
This is from the credits. But the entire movie, the music was wonderful. It never put itself in front of the storytelling or the visuals. It never distracted, but it always complemented what was happening. Particularly, I loved Ashlyn's spell song, whatever you want to call it, when she caused Pengerbon to become a spirit and get the key and unlock Brendan.
Yeah.
I think I need to download the soundtrack now just so I can get that song on my MP3 player. So do you want to do final thoughts then?
Final thoughts. Final thoughts, watch the movie. If you like classics like Thief and the Cobbler, maybe almost any Disney movie, Land Before Time, Fire and Ice. If you like movies like that, I mean, you'll love this one. The story is engaging, as simplistic as I may have suggested it to be. Don't take my word for it. Watch it for yourself and take what you can get from it. The animation is mind-blowing. The music, the characters, I mean, it's good entertainment. And I think the beginning of the movie will, give you a comfortable mindset, and then it'll just drag you into it more and more of what's going on.
My final thoughts, something I didn't mention before but I'd like to mention now, is that the animation style did remind me of Samurai Jack. a similar type of simplistic animation that I really enjoy. Simplistic, but also extremely detailed at the same time. Manages to fill me with a lot of emotion, which is what I love movies to do. The characters were all excellently portrayed, all driven by their own desires. You know, all of them felt like real people. Even the sillier ones, like the people who worked in the Abbot, or in the Abbot. Yeah, it is an Abbot. In Kells. Anyway, it's a beautiful, gorgeous movie. It was nominated for an Oscar, and I think it deserved that nomination. In fact, I'd go so far as to say I think it should have won Best Animation. That's all I have to say about Secret of Kells.